Welcome, Professor Williams. Can you tell me where the theater department is located specifically in Molloy?
Yes, we are in Molloy Hall, and the main office is Molloy Hall 137, which is on the east side of the building. My office as theater director is upstairs in room 227.
What do you think attracts students to this particular department?
I think the Fort Hays Theater Program attracts students who are looking to be able to get cast in roles, work backstage, participate in a big way as soon as they are freshmen. In many of the bigger schools, undergraduates don't have a chance to work on the main stage until they're either graduate students or seniors, because of the number of graduate students who are working in bigger universities on their masters.
So it's a lot more specialized, like with teacher and student interaction?
We have a very close student-teacher interaction, and they have opportunities to get on stage and act or work backstage their first semester here many times.
What do you see as the intent of this program?
Our basic objective is to have our emerging artists and crafts people to be able to go on to postgraduate work at university or a conservatory, to pursue a teaching career, to, if they have the ambition and passion, to jump in with both feet and audition for bus and truck tours, to work in smaller markets like Kansas City, Chicago, or I suppose go to Los Angeles and New York City and begin to work on their professional careers.
So just a lot of opportunities in general?
I give my theater majors and non-majors who want to participate as many opportunities as I can. We have 4 main productions a year, a musical, 2 plays, and an opera, and we do a director showcase every spring.
What is your take on the students who have worked with you?
I am very lucky. The music and theater department is extremely fortunate. We have and have had for the last many years always a number of very talented, ambitious and passionate students who work very hard all day and all night, working in their classes and rehearsing. I feel very fortunate to have these students.
Is there anything else that you feel that the viewers at home should know about this department?
I would hope that they would come and check us out. We have our schedules up in the front of the building in very large posters. I think both music and theater do great performances. All of our shows, I believe, are as professional as we can make them, with very competent actors and people working backstage. So if they haven't been to Felton Star Theater in Molloy Hall to see a performance, I would hope they would come and check us out.
Well, what was your interest in the theater department here?
I actually graduated in 1974 from Fort Hays State University in the theater department. I grew up in Felton Star Theater. I have a long history with the Fort Hays State University theater program and a great love, because it enabled me to work all these many years in theater doing something I love. It gave me a great education and background and an opportunity to work in theater after graduating.
Have you had any experience with like theaters in Kansas, or is this just your first?
I worked in theater in San Diego, California, worked in theater in Denver, Colorado, and I worked in New York City at Lincoln Center in wardrobe for the New York City Opera and the New York City Ballet Company.
How was that?
It was, well, working at Lincoln Center was wonderful, wonderful, although my job was basically washing tights and costumes in the wardrobe department. But being able to work with artists of that caliber and to watch the ballet and hear one of the best orchestras in the world 6 times a week was something that I probably would have done for free.
What was that experience like, as far as just like doing something that extravagant?
Well, you just feel very fortunate and privileged to be able to be there. It's a big responsibility, and you take it very seriously, and you do the job the best you can.
Well, Professor Williams, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate you coming here.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm joined right now by Dr. Terry Corral, Associate Professor and Director of Choir Activities for the Music and Theater Department. Stationed in Molloy Hall, the department offers students an education in theater, music, and new media studies, among other programs at choir. Welcome, Dr. Corral.
Hi.
Hey. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, honestly.
Thanks for having me on.
No, it's our pleasure. Now, the department in Molloy Hall, where can folks find most of the choir activities in that building?
Choir activities are held, like our rehearsals, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, are in what's called Palmer Hall, named after Harold Palmer, and it seats about 100. It's a recital hall because it has a nice stage and a grand piano, and a lot of kids will do their senior recitals there and our afternoon department recitals. We also have, right next to it in Molloy Hall, the Felton Start Theater, named after some Felton Start somebody. It seats 315, I think, and that's where we do opera last week and the musical in the fall, which I conduct those shows and help the kids learn their music and their voice teachers as well. For our large concerts, we go across the street to Sheridan in the Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center, 1,100 seats there, so that's the large concert space. We also have Dilly Rehearsal Hall, which is our band room. Molloy 126 was recently remodeled to accommodate our growing band. So it's really nice, brand new facility. They're really enjoying using that.
So just a lot of opportunities for students, like no matter what their needs.
A lot going on. We have a lot of students that are in both vocal and instrumental music, or piano and instrumental, or strings and vocal, so they keep busy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about your role as the director of these activities?
I have 5 choirs. Our top choir is the Fort Hays Singers. There's 20 voices, sometimes 16, depending on how big the group was or needs to be, or some of the music we're doing. When we tour, like we've gone to Branson, Oklahoma City, and then worked our way through Kansas recruiting tours. It's nice to have 16 because we fit in 2 vans nicely. This summer, the Fort Hays Singers are going to Austria, so I let the group grow to 20. So that we'd have a little bit better sound and a bigger experience. So we're excited about that. We've been fundraising all year. The 40 Singers are also members of the concert choir, which is a large performing choir, and that's open to any students. About 2/3 of them are not music majors, so you don't have to be a music major to be in any of our groups. And then I have a women's chorale and a men's glee club, and I have an adult community choir called the Smoky Hill Chorale. So those are the 5 groups that I direct. And they sometimes perform together, sometimes share concerts.
What's the community choir? Like, what is that?
Community choir, adults post-high school who just want to continue to sing. It's like a summer city band that my colleague Dr. Jordan does, or some of the other band directors will have in their community summer bands. We have it during the school year, and we're off in the summer, so it kind of fills the need for folks who've been singing all their lives and want something maybe a little bit different than a church choir. And many of them are in their church choir too. Because we do some sacred music, but not strictly. And we don't do it for worship, we do it for concerts, so a little different.
That's a lot of diversity as far as just like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about that?
I think running rehearsals and preparing for performance is probably top on my list. I just love teaching from the podium where I conduct, although at 6-8 I don't use a podium. Second to that would be teaching student teachers who are going to go out and have their own choirs. I love to work with kids who have been my students that are now working with their choirs. That's a lot of fun, very gratifying.
So I understand you've been here for over 12 years, is that correct?
13th year, this is my 13th year, yeah.
Nice. What got you interested in Hayes?
Well, I was doing my doctoral studies in Greeley, Colorado, at Northern Colorado. And this job came open, and I wasn't ready to graduate yet. But apparently, they had 1 year temporary position. The next year it came open again. So I came out and interviewed. It's all downhill from Colorado to here. So it was an easy trip. I like the kids. They work hard, and a lot of them from small schools. I was from a small school in Illinois. And so I kind of relate to them that way. I was a farm kid, so a lot of the kids and I, share that common background. So we work well together. It's a lot of fun.
Has Kansas been different?
Say again?
Has Kansas been different than?
Well, it doesn't rain here.
Yeah.
Illinois gets an inch a week in rain. I tell some of my kids I don't know why they try and grow corn here, because that's our big crop, Illinois. I was on a dairy farm. But the people are the same. I mean, hardworking, down-to-earth, good church-going people who like to better themselves and like to help others perform as well in a group. So that's a lot of fun.
What's your experience as a teacher been like here?
Well, I've had a lot of success and really enjoyed working with both choirs, the concert choir and the 4-day singers. In my 12 years here, we've been to our state music convention 8 times. Now, you can only take one group every other year. So 4 times the 4-day singers have gone, and 4 or 5 times the concert choir has gone. But I'm pretty proud of that, because you have to submit a tape. You have to have a pretty good quality year in, year out for them to say, yes, there's a consistency there. And so I remember telling the first choir that I wanted to get us back into that, and we're going to work together. And the kids joined me, and it's been fun to be here for 12 years. It's the longest I've been any place. We've taught in California and Iowa and South Dakota. So I think we'll probably stay here until we retire, and then we'll probably move somewhere where there's an airport.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because we get kids in Chicago and New York and China. So.
How do you think teaching here at Fort Hays has helped you as a teacher?
Well, I think it's helped me because I've had to work hard to find recruiting, and that has made me more active in getting out into schools, which is good because it keeps me in touch with what kids are doing in high school choral programs, and that's what I'm preparing my students for, to go out and be those kind of teachers. I do a lot of judging, so I get around the whole state to judge choirs at like this time of year when we're doing contests. And that has been something I didn't do a lot of before, because being at the university level has been different than when you're a high school teacher. You're going to contests. When you're university, you're one of the judges. So I've liked that change.
Has it expanded your horizons?
I think so. The ability to work with college kids who are, well, let me put it this way. I've taught in junior high where kids are searching for who they are. They aren't adults yet. High school kids, you can't tell them anything. They think they know who they are, and they know everything about everything. But college kids, they are adults. They leave that baggage outside of the door when they come to rehearsal. And, I can crack a joke in rehearsal, and it's not the end of the rehearsal. We can get back to work. With high school kids, it's like, okay, it's party time. And they don't want to get back to work. And you don't have discipline problems. That's not to say there aren't ever, conflicts. Sure, we're human beings, so sometimes kids have troubles, but we deal with them in an adult and mature way, and that's been very rewarding. That's different than the high school level was.
You mentioned you were traveling a lot for Branson and Austria and China. Has that helped with recruiting? Well,
we're going to Austria this year. I don't know if that'll, down the road, I suppose, we'll say, I heard you went to Austria, so I wanted to come here. I actually heard the opposite. Somebody who was a student here for 5 years, and his mother said to me last weekend, he was here 5 years and he never got to go to Austria. But we did go on every other year tours. And those to me have always been, both at the college level in South Dakota and now here at the university level, the best recruiting. We go on fall break for 5 days to Branson, Missouri, and then work our way back on Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving when all the high schools in the state are still in school. So we can stop. We did 15 performances in those 2 days. So a lot of work. and that's good recruiting.
Can you tell us what other events are happening in the choir program?
Well, we're working right now with all the choirs, the community choir, the big choir, and the 40 singers, to put together with the Hayes Symphony Orchestra, Carmina Burana. This is a large work for choirs and orchestras. And we do that every other year. 2 years ago, we did the Brahms Requiem. We've done the Creation, other oratorios. And so that's a good experience for our students. And it's fun to prepare them for that large experience of going with an orchestra. It's a lot different than just singing with a piano or unaccompanied.
What else has been interesting for you while you've been here? Like any particular stories?
I think being able to be a teacher that has a gen ed course that has a lot of athletes in it keeps me in touch with them. That's something I wasn't able to do in my other teaching, although I did some coaching when I taught in high school. Once you get to university level, you're pretty specialized in your area, and like I have 5 choirs, that keeps me busy with my job. But getting out to the football games and having those guys in my classes and cheering them on, I remember yelling at Doyen Jaboya that if he had a pick 6, he'd ace the course, and the crowd all laughed. He did have a pick 6. I don't remember whether I aced him on that course or whether I made him earn it. I'm sure I did. But it's fun having fellow athletes, especially at my age of way past my athletic prime, to kind of live through them a little bit. So that's a lot of fun. Basketball as well.
You must get like a lot of personality then.
Huh?
You must get a lot of personality then.
Well, you know, being in music and a performer and musicals and operas, you get used to being in front of people. And my children have said they endured long hours of practice and performing as the Kroll family singers. But now they say, I'm not afraid to get in front of anybody. Were you that way? You're not afraid to be on camera, so you've got personality too. And
Yeah, it's definitely helped a lot.
yeah, were you a cheerleader or something in high school, so you were out in front of people? And
Oh no, I was the opposite. I was way more shy.
is that right?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. So college has brought you out of your shell.
It has.
Yeah, and that's fun to see at the college level. Kids grow out of teens into adults and really start focusing on their careers. And that's very rewarding as a teacher to help them discover that.
Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, it was a pleasure. To find out more about this department or to become involved, you can go to the Fort Hays State's Music and Theater website. There's even a link to the arts calendar on the main page. We will be back soon with Under the Radar. Until then, I'm Haley Lenauer, signing off.